Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Age Mythology Replay. Spawn bottom right side as the blue Poseidon. We got Excelsior. I cannot say that word. Why can I not say that name? Excelsior. Still butcher that name. Spawn on top left side as the red Kronos. We got GamePlay. Whose GamePlay? I do not know. There was some recent balance patches, but I forget what all the changes were. But either way, when it comes to the two major gods, of course, Poseidon is the cavalry economic bonus, spawns militia from buildings as they die. Cavalry caravans and Mythiums get increased speed per age. Markets and stables are cheaper, and the improved exchange rate. Free hippocampus. The upgrade increase the horseman's speed or line of sight and a little bit of health regen. Kronos is the siege and myth units focus. Can time shift buildings for. Buildings are constructed 25% faster with nearby manor. You get 2 free myth units when advancing each age. Lost siege units and myth units return. I'll give you 20% to refund. When it comes to the major and minor gods, I suppose I can slow it down. I've been trying not to fast forward through some of the Earth economic phase, give me more time to cover the gods. Hermes is usually the standard for Poseidon, but Ares is not a half bad option. Hermes does provide, of course, the Centaur, ceasefire, gives access to free Pegasus speed and make them just generally better as a scouting unit. And Spiritual Charge is the primary reason why people go for Hermes as Poseidon. Cavalry gets increased speed and damage. Oh, looks like the temple got refunded, deconstructed. Kronos is time shifting his temple forward, and he's going straight for Promethean. Promethean provides, of course, Prometheus. Valor Power gives you free heroes, or cheap heroes, I should say. Prometheus are a tanky myth unit, faster promotion time, and make your heroic citizens 20% faster. Got some heroic oracles being employed in the field. And Hermes now being employed in the field as well. If Blue sees this, does Blue see that? Blue does not see this over here. I wonder if he sees the tiles there. That can be a little bit difficult to see after all. This would not indicate. Oh no, that was where his temple was. Temple got rebuilt over here. Now he sees Promethean. He probably should go for watchtowers to help keep watch of the Prometheans that are advancing forward. Another Promethean being employed in the field. We got Thesis now brought back on. It's pretty common for Kronos to do this proxy play. Got Centaur and Thesis. Thesis is the anti-myth unit hero, having a times 12 multiplier. Seems like he's getting a little bit slow there. Prometheus just moved decent pace. Does time shift a counter barrack, so it looks like Kronos eyeing a bit more aggression. Do I see farms? No, those are just a bunch of cows. Not cows. Goats here. And red does find a good number of goats. We have 18 goats for red. Blue has gone to a much more modest 9. Goats are, of course, the goat. For Promethean advance way forward, needs something to deal with Thesis, human soldiers. Since he's just classified as a hero, you can't necessarily counter with, say, Chariot Ballista. Centaur still causing an issue, so any hero would be not half bad. He has a Chariot Ballista. That could be a good target for Valor, is expensive human soldier. A Lantern not being employed in the field as well. Does Valor something, not the Chariot Ballista. Atlantia and Thesis has a lot of good targets here. Termos not really good against heroes or against these units. Thesis taking quite a bit of damage there. We've also got the Oracle fighting. He's okay, not great. Couple pelters for counter cavalry unit. Thesis has gone down. There's just a lot here for Blue to deal with. We got, of course, counter cavalry units here, so it's probably a bad idea to go for Hippus. Definitely get another Thesis over here. Got some militia being employed in the field. And looks like he's withdrawn the temple, which has picked up a relic, the Jade here. Improved myth unit speed by 5%. That is very nice. That's maybe what we... Actually, no, now Promethean Offspring was 5.8. That's actually far higher than expected. Maybe the Promethean offspring just moves faster than regular... what's it called? Prometheans. He has not got the clay there, improving number of Promethean. Are these all offspring? That appears to be the case. They're all offspring. A lot of orphans, I should say. And now theft of fire being researched as medium-range soldiers. Does pick up the relic. Counterburst being time shifted back on home. Another Valor power somewhere. Red is actually starting to obtain some of these goats he has. Just got husbandry research, so not all these goats have a husband. More citizens, of course. Valor's up to 6 favor. Valor's now up to 7 favor. Relic picked up here. It is the Tusk of the Iron Boar. Increases cavalry hit points by 10%. That's actually would have been very good for Poseidon to obtain. Number of idle villagers there. Idle from doing what? I am not sure.
Herr Joes.
Blue has research watchtowers, quite understandable. That villager, he has a nice pile of gold here. To be honest, in real life, that would be difficult to hold. That would probably break your arms. I don't know how heavy gold is compared to a stone chunk like that. I'm actually assuming heavier because it's gold, and gold is super heavy. I'm wondering, what are actually a lot of chemical compositions of stone? Like, what's the chemical composition of what's it called? Of granite? Isn't lime like NaOC? Which is salt? Wait, limestone made out of salt? Or no, sodium, not salt. Which is different, very, very different. We do now have some of these citizens starting to go on down. 2 citizens down. Nice little raid there. We've got the 4 Hippos, 2 Centaur, and 1 Atlantia. Atlantia moves at 5.6. Right now the Hippos do move at 5.7. Same the Centaur, so perfectly fast composition. Hyperion now deploying the field. Got 1 Satyr here, or should I say 2 Satyrs there. Pile of copper medium upgrades for Kronos. Promethean offspring are moving at 5.8, so they are moving fast in the formation. They're just not exactly the highest DPS units. They actually do have a bit of crush damage, so it makes them a bit more generalist. Dionysus now being employed in the field. Can give him access to Tharkian horses, 30% lifesteal, and also some Hydra to hail. Hyperion does give access to the Chaos. Just no Chaos control. Blue's now trying to obtain this town center. Up north, relic picked on up. That relic up is the Black Lotus, improving farming rate by 10%. Too bad Magic the Gathering as this card series has gone really down in quality. And I mentioned Wizards of the Coast. Oh, got idle citizens there. She is not doing her part. Counter barracks not being built. Military barracks as well. Heroic Cherry Ballista here. Another Valor. Next Valor costs 10 favor. So I'm assuming he's Kronos has used it 10 times now. Got a Sarf 0. Got some Upgrades here, of course. 2 town centers, 33 civilians versus 38 civilians. We do have the temporal chaos, reduce the cost of time shifting some certain buildings, as well as increase the number of buildings you can time shift at a time. Got some stables being put on the field. Looks like Poseidon's Olympus stability in his life, as well as some military academies. Heroic terminal push way forward. Got some medium Contineris. Others why I generally prefer Ares. Makes your Prodromos far more effective. Sure, increased speed is very nice, and a bit of damage is always quite nice. But I think the divine damage from Prodromos makes it as a counter unit very good. And not to mention it has offered some other upgrades, help some other units, help make a bit more of a well-rounded composition. But I do understand, plus 10% base damage is very nice. It also does affect the militia, giving them +1 divine damage, as well as hoplites. Ares is generally very good for all-around compositions, which is not a bad idea to keep in your back pocket. The Oracle has seen his demise, and it's much quicker than he would like. We do not have Red's rotating a bit of force here. Still just 8 Promethean Offspring, 2 Satyrs, and 5 medium Capopeltis. Palace, Manor, military barracks with more Cantarius, as well as some heavy cavalry. So just got Dark Age Hippus here, which if that little composition is probably a good idea. Do have Cherubulus also been employed in the field. Bronze and Ceasefire both available. Unless Hippus does get peeled on off. So these skulls are getting pretty well fattened. And the Centaur is getting punched in the butt repeatedly by the Promethean Offspring. Atlantia does get peeled off to start picking off some of these Promethean Offspring. She looks like she's able to one-shot them. 15 times 8, which is what, 120? Yeah, that's 120 against myth units. Of course, they got to worry about hack armor, 15% with 96 HP. Yep. So she does one-shot Promethean Offspring. Centaur severely wounded, so that arrow volley will get some damage. Probably not worth losing the Centaur like that. And red does not finish any of these guys off. Granted, they're a bunch of cavalry units, and these guys are a bunch of guys on foot. We have some more farms now being established by blue. There's still a bit of food on the map, is there not? A little bit getting dangerous, but should be safe enough. Yep, and Poseidon's just going to transition to mass farms, not eyeing for any food on the field. Going for a third town center now. Red has obtained a second town center. Actually has 3 town centers, just only have 2 queues going. We do have some Hypasus being queued on up, counter infantry units, but she only is fighting against counter cavalry units there, so Hypasus is probably not a good idea. Hoplites probably would be the better option, since the Hoplites would technically be a counter to the counter cavalry, because they are not inherently anti-infantry. So yeah, I do disagree with the Hypasus. All of upgrades here. Third citizen queue now going. Centaur and Hoplites being queued on up. Let's see, her. Do you have 2 counter barracks? Third palace there, so we got a line of palaces. Maybe going with a basic round of walls in front of wouldn't be half bad, just to give them a little bit extra durability. If not boiling oil at that point, with that concentration of palaces. Is he time-shifting palaces the corner? Okay, got a centaur going down there. Time-shifting palaces into a corner is definitely an interesting idea. Of course, in this age, you don't have access to fanatics, just destroyers. Here's some more forums being established by Kronos this time. Not too many, though. He is still clicking up the various giraffe neck meats. And just go ahead and go for this gazelle afterwards. Yeah, this game is greatly slowed down. Both players in the eco phase. We'll go ahead and fast forward a little bit. Hypastus, Prodromos, Hippus being queued on up. We do have Atlas being queued on up as well. Pair of destroyers here, as well as a Petrobolus to engage the palace. Petrobolus will be picked on off. They do get a fair amount of damage to the town center. And he's going to try picking off this palace now. Oracle in the corner, that's what provided vision for all of this. Over here, looks like Blue tried to push forward. Did get intercepted though. Looks like Poseidon's queued on up Hepatis, or however you pronounce his name. I still can't pronounce almost any name. Got Terma, Marmelos, Contineris, and Destroyers being queued on up. Destroyers are pretty nice. They counter buildings, but they have high enough pierce armor. They're inherently anti-range. Especially with Atlas, with what's called Titan Shield? Or Devotee's Atlas. Yeah, Titan Shield. Gives even more pierce armor. I think that pierce armor can up to like 90% or 95%. Something absurd. There's the pair of Arcus. Another palace being time shifted forward, as well as this counterpart or Destroyers push way forward. Both players are sort of streaming one at a time. Medium Prodromos versus Heavy Contineris. Destroyers are resilient, but there's a lot of cavalry that's going to be hitting them. Bronze been summoned by Blue. Chaos to counter. The two free states still firing away in live. Petrobolus engaging the palaces. Looks like all three palaces are providing some fire support. This palace has taken a bit of a beating. Termos are trying to hit the Thestis and Atlantia. We got the Hydra now at 2 heads. Should be pretty close to 3 heads soon. 3rd head is and it goes down. Got heroic Termos right there. Palace is taking a bit of a beating. A citizen come up and repair the structure. We do now have Hepatis now being employed in the field. And Red's now going for some fanatics, or anti-infantry and anti-cavalry. Plentyvolt, Colossus. Poseidon's at pretty much no favor at the moment. They want to task a couple more villages onto favor and start trying to get that producing. Red has a pretty good stockpile queue of units. Blue has no queue of units going, which can be causing a bit of an issue. Pile of upgrades, a lot of the conscriptions. pile of upgrades there. Do now also have the Olympian weapons. Does deconstruct the fortress there. Fire siphons have been deployed in the field. Ceasefire has been deployed in the field. Things well, implosion is still available. This is deconstruction taking extra time. Wait. Is deconstruction bugged? Okay. Doesn't deconstruction that goes like 10 seconds? That took forever. What happened there? Am I crazy? This seems like a good target for implosion. We may see implosion. Implosion. Oh boy, that is a lot of targets. Villagers league inside the fortress. The Colossus has been grabbed. I think Blue's gonna lose his entire army. Villagers being summoned. Right now 92. Yep, every single one is actually killing the villagers immediately. Everything's dying immediately. Explodes on out. Red may want to start getting out some trade caravans. Blue could also as well. And looks like Blue will hold on with a severely wounded army. Red is remaxed. Where's the rest of his forces? Guess more forces over here. Fire siphons are not cheap in population. They are 5 population. And every structure gets destroyed. Militia gets summoned. Of course, Red does have these palaces of fire support here. I wonder if he has some of the fortress upgrades. Colossus starting to go down. We do have another fortress being established. Still a massive cube by Red. Blue is not building much new units, but has a decent army over here, breaking on through. But it's going to be a bit of a base race situation. More in favor of Red, it looks like. Red has enough for another Chaos God power. The militia has been summoned. Heavy Hertaros is going to be very effective. Good splash danger with Tharkeen horses. Should provide quite a bit of effect. Every slice they do, they'll get quite a bit of health back since AoE attacks. 1.5 AoE is quite nice. And though this upgrade has not been researched, which increases the damage of the Hertaros as well by 20%. And decent amount of militia has been summoned, that's for sure. Looks like these palaces are on fire. He does have some citizens nearby can start doing some repairs. But I guess he likes his palaces nice and toasty. do have champion infantry by blue, so the militia are improved by champion effects. The number of fire seconds push way forward. Blue is sort of pushed its way forward. Got some counter cavalry units now mixed on in. Very handy indeed. Polyphemus trying to crush some of these fire siphons. Does destroy that structure. Blue's pushed way over here as well. We also got Thessus here to stab all those eyes out. Polyphemus getting a little bit overran. Right now, blue still only has heavy cavalry, has not researched champion cavalry just yet. Chariot bullets has been engaged. This classified as range, so we'll receive bonus damage from the Hippus. Parataurus right now are doing 16 damage with a nice bit of splash, and also has a bit of divine damage. Yep. Actually, no, it does not have Tharpian horses researched just yet. So they're not getting any sort of lifesteal. That's what's off. Secret of the Titans queued on up by red. Blue's now pushing forward over here. Trying to set up some forward fortresses. Town center for him to obtain is right there. Cancel some of those structures there. More fortress now being established there. Iliopoli are advancing. Red's Titan Gate has been established right here. Hippus pushing over here. Got some Chariot Ballista and some Promethean Offspring. Red's attaining the Velocity Gold. Blue right now has very little gold remaining. And probably doesn't have access to many gold deposits left. This one, 2,000 gold there from the use. And this is the other gold deposit here. It looks like the map is starting to run out of gold pretty quickly. Though, if Blue can obtain this town center, that would be a great trade path. And Blue should start eyeing to get his trade up and going, seeing how little gold he has to work with. And definitely cancel the villager production, save some population space. What I sort of wonder is, how would this game look like if villagers cost 0 population? Because I always feel like army size in this game seems a little bit small. It makes me wonder, maybe they should make villager population sizes down to 0, keep the maximum cap, but then trade caravans will of course retain a cap, but cost 1 population since they provide infinite gold. Just an idea. Town center does get destroyed there. You have the Titan Gate being built. It's currently 6 seconds ahead, but it's getting interrupted. Red has far from maximum population. It's at 50 seconds. He's taking losses there. He's banking on everything on this Titan Gate. And Red backs the gate, unable to complete the Titan Gate. This is Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay.